Base junkie on the mic, worldwide flight. Builders in the base, making futures bright. Many have dreams, stacking beams, take the lead. Base apps unite, planting every seed. From Tokyo towers to Parisian streets. Builders coding visions, no defeat. Many app magicians pulling from the ether. Scripts tighter than a bank vault keeper. Silicon spark where the minds all merge. Fireside stories fuel truth in the search. Blueprints blazing, innovations choir. Ideas catching fire, lifting empires higher. Base builders around the world, hands raised. Every mini app's a candlelight in new ways. Code and create, let the passion unfurl. Fireside media shines on the builder world. Base, the world. Fireside media shines on the builder world. Fingers on the keys, symphonies of syntax. Builders dropping beats, every line impacts. From the desert top Dubai to NYC, on base and beyond, boundless energy. Spotlights on the cruise, every block they tether. Fireside media tells how they build together. Baseline thumping, hearts start jumping. Change in the air, you can feel it pumping.
Dream it, build it, watch it ignite. Base apps blooming, stars in the night.
Base builders around the world, hands raised. Every mini app's a candlelight in new ways. Hold and create, let the passion unfurl. Fireside media lifts the builder world. Base world. Fireside media lifts the builder world. Base world. Fireside media lifts the builder world.
Yo, and welcome to another edition of Fireside Media, the daily talk show where we interview the top builders on base and beyond, Monday to Thursday at 8:30 p.m. GMT +1, 12:30 p.m. PST. Guys, it is a builders market. Some people say it's a bear season. Some people say that the bull market might even be returning. Join us on Thursday to find out more about the charts and Taurus takes there. But guys, one thing we do know for certain, rain or shine, red days or green, it is a builder's market and base is the builder's chain. Joining us today, we have an OG working in the feline industry on chain. He is one of the founders of Cat Town, one of the favorite games on base and beyond. So without any further ado, let's welcome up our speaker of today, Chronicles. Yo. How are you today?
How's it going, Mike? Yeah, good. I absolutely loved your intro, by the way. Can't get enough of the pamphlets whenever that comes in. It's like that hook is really, really good.
You know, so I really liked my previous my old intro music was I really enjoyed it, but it was just it was a remix of all the songs that had the word bass in it. And whenever I put these shows on YouTube, I get the notification saying your video is blocked in these territories because of copyright infringement. And so eventually I was like, you know what, I'm going to have to make a remix. So I whipped out the pan flute. In
your recording studio, right?
Yeah, in the recording studio, I fought the bears outside, and yeah, but it's funny. So, guys, Mike and we've actually been chatting behind the scenes for about an hour, and it's like, okay, we should probably record something. But you know, I find you a very inspiring person and somebody who I really do enjoy chopping it up with, because we've both been on base for a while. We both have our experiences building, creating content, creating a gaming, a budding gaming empire. But Mike, Chronicles, take us down memory lane, because I know we have some new viewers watching. And let me just say to people tuning in today, make sure you show some love for the builders who are showing up on the red days and green days. Show some love for Cat Town, Mike presenting, and smash that retweet. Let everybody know where you are at and where the juicy gaming alpha is on base. So, Mike, over to you. Introduce yourself and tell us about you. how you got here.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate the kind words, by the way. I'll try and live up to the intro. So yeah, online I'm called Crunkles, Mike otherwise. But I'm one of the founders of Cat Town, which is like a cozy on-chain MMORPG. If you've played things like Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley and things like that, that's what we're trying to build, except on-chain and with plenty of cats. At the moment, the things you can do in the town are like fish. You can go to the bank and stake your kibble as you normally would in like a DeFi platform. So it's got a little bit of that DeFi element to it. We've also got the gacha, and then we're expanding everything outwards quite soon to bring like like a huge expansion. So we've been building this for quite a while, and I can't wait to kind of like dive into the weeds and kind of tell you a little bit about that. But for now, I'm going to sort of take you back a little bit and sort of talk about the journey. So Cat Town has been in production for around, or live as well as in production, I suppose, for the past just over 2 years. We've taken part in lots of the base programs like base batches 1 and 2. We've taken part in On-Chain Summer and thrown events and things around that, as well as like finishing, I believe, second in one of those, and I think first in the On-Chain Summer one. And of course, you can play us everywhere as well. You can play on the base app, you can play on Farcaster, you can play pretty much anywhere. It should run on anything. We haven't tried it on a fridge yet, but we might try that just to see if it works. Yeah, we're basically trying to create a frictionless DeFi / gaming world where you can kind of come on, earn a little bit, play a little bit, meet some new people, walk around, do things, and play through the story. So yeah, that's pretty much I guess the intro for now. Anyway.
Quick question. Can you hear this audio? I hope it's not too loud. Or is there
it's not too loud for me, but
can you? Is there a way to mute it?
I think you can mute it on the tab. Perhaps.
This is cute.
Yeah, so this is your you're arriving in Cat Town, and by boat, of course. And we're going to be building out this like intro story a little bit further in the next expansion. Yeah, so I mean, maybe I can talk about like what's coming up next, or
yeah. Sorry about that. Like, I was just I felt like a cat with a
a polyarn.
Hang on, I need to close that because I'll mute it at least. Yeah, I'll just close it. Okay. I think just that experience right there, that it was actually captivating. Like I wanted to click more. I think that shows. I think that sort of that invitation into this world, like the cozy music, the inviting sort of storyline, and just like a cute little cat. Like I really love the aesthetic, the art style, and just it was drawing me in, and I was like, you know what, I can play this on my own time. Okay, so congratulations on the success of the hackathons, and I remember seeing Tara on one of the base
layer.
It was like, yeah, it was like one of the first interviews. I'm like, yo, shout out to you guys. That's really awesome. How did you get the initial traction with Cat Town? And I guess maybe by sharing that story, it could help others who maybe still believing in gaming, like how they can get their first 100 users.
Sure. So my first thing would probably say is try and make it so that you can get started as fast as possible with any kind of wallet, and from anywhere as well. So the base app is great for that. Farcaster is great for that. They have mini apps, and in my experience, that's been like the best way to play on mobile. You can also start to find people who really vibe with your game as well on there, because they're social platforms. So you can end up getting a little bit of indirect kind of support from people, and sort of generate some buzz. So I would say for new people who are deciding to build something and they're going for mobile, then that's definitely the place to be. I'd say Farcaster, definitely. In terms of our own success and how we kind of like grew at the very beginning, we embraced any creators that were coming in that wanted to basically create. We had like a small program. It was very, very informal at the very beginning, but we basically tried to help out and boost up those people who really, really cared about the vision of the game. Back then we had an amazing guy called Toji, who came from TikTok. He had a small following on TikTok, and he started to talk about crypto. And before we knew it, suddenly like 90% of our player base were from the Philippines, and we didn't understand a word that they were saying, but they were getting like super excited about things and really having fun whenever they were fishing and like trading things amongst each other. So I would say there's not one playbook for everything. You can definitely like lay the table and wait for people to come, but whatever meal you serve up is really up to you and how you deal with that. So I suppose be inviting of your community, learn on the job, I suppose, as you're going, and really speak to your community as well. Like find out what things they care about, what they don't like, and what confuses them. And I think some of those things will present themselves over time anyway, especially the things that people don't like. And people are really, really, really quick to tell you that. But it's important to listen to it and not to think that, oh, they're just like, you know, they hate the thing that I've built. It's like, no, they don't. They're giving you the important feedback because they care a lot about it. So yeah, those would be my, I suppose, small words of advice.
I think that's a really a wise and humble thing to acknowledge and admit, because I think one of the key problems that some builders have is being married to the idea, being married to and like gestating it, like working on it so long in the shadows, and then releasing it to the world as a polished and finished masterpiece, saying, hey, here it is, you're welcome, now you can experience it. And then the feedback says, actually, we like this, and this, but we don't like that, and that. And it's like, well, you're wrong. So, well, actually, taking on that consumer feedback and adapting is everything, because they're not like, yes, there are haters in the world, of course, online even more so, but people that actually spend the time to use the app and play the game, more often than not, they want to continue, and they want to see more of what they like, and they want to guide you to create the best experience. So taking on that advice really is it's the best approach.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the people who don't like what you're building you'll probably not hear from them. And that's the thing, like the people who bounce on.
Indifference. It's like, okay, well, this isn't for me. Like,
exactly.
I like dogs. So
yeah.
like just on that one comment, actually, it got me thinking. So Cat Town, you have cats. Are there any other creatures in the game, or do you have any ideas for expansion beyond?
Yes, definitely. So there are several ways that we're going to be introducing other animals. We're going to introduce another town outside of Cat Town, and it's going to have other types of animals in it, running their own things their own way. So that's going to be part of the story as we kind of build out the next things, and I will talk about like the expansion. But we have plans for that, and we also have plans for, in this expansion, you'll be raising pets, which are called floofs, which are technically not cats. But basically, the way to look at these sort of things is kind of almost like a Tamagotchi, mixed with a Pokemon, mixed with a little bit of Final Fantasy. And basically, you're going to train these things up. You're going to end up adopting them, and sometimes you'll get a fire one, sometimes you'll get a water one. They'll have different natures if you're familiar with the way that Pokemon works, and different kind of statistics, so that you can level them and curate them into your perfect kind of battle companion.
will they be battling? Would it be like an Axie Infinity sort of style battling component there?
Yes, something similar. It's completely on chain as well, and there will be the possibility for PvP as well with jewels and putting wagers on those jewels as well. So, we really want to be able to build in the things that you wouldn't be able to do in a traditional game, and part of that is the Cat Town economy, which has served well for over 2 years and will continue to serve well as well. So we really, really want to sort of build in those kind of small DeFi components as optional around the sides for people who want to take part in it, just to add a little bit of extra spice and a little bit of extra, I suppose, crypto native kind of spin on things.
That's very exciting, actually. It's been a while since we've spoken about Cat Town. I remember when you brought out the fishing game and just a bit of a weekend fun to like playing these tournaments. I thought that was a fun integration, like, bringing in that social component as well with other people and leaderboards, all that great stuff. But also, I grew up playing Pokemon on the Game Boy. I love the leveling up aspect, and I loved playing Tamagotchi. Obviously, I guess you got to feed your Sorry, is it the cats that are battling or the floofs that are the battle companions?
It's the floofs that are the battle companions. So the fact that you mentioned fishing there is perfect. So in a world with floofs, suddenly your fish have additional reasons to be there as well. They're not just for winning the competition. Currently, you can also use them for a fish raffle, hand them in for tickets. So they're almost like a currency. But also in this new floof world, you will be using them to replenish energy and things like that as well, which I can talk about a little bit later as well. So we're really trying to give utility to all of the items, which of course are NFTs, as you know them. If you've ever picked up like a profile picture NFT or got an item in a game on chain or anything like that, it works exactly the same way. You've got those kind of items. You can trade them with your friends. You can put them on OpenSea and sell them. And then you can also use them in the game to basically fulfill functions and stuff.
Okay, I'm just going to put up the OpenSea. So, hang on, let's share the link so people can find it. So I'm on OpenSea now. Where would I find it? So I was having Cat Town. I see Cat Town Founder Collection.
Yes, so that will be the profile picture. So basically, with these guys, you can basically own one of these, and if you put it in your wallet, you can now become that cat in Cat Town. There is a flow in the actual game where you can actually buy directly from OpenSea through the game as well. But these are basically used as like your character. These are like your appearance. And there are other ways to get cosmetics from the boutique, which is like a little clothing store in Cat Town. Or from participating in special events like a Christmas fishing competition or a Halloween fishing competition where we give out like, spooky, hats and like garments and stuff like witch hats and stuff. So there's lots of different ways to basically to kind of collect and to play and to, style your character how you want to be styled. Which is really, really important whenever you see the same people show up every single weekend and you see them, people at the docks and they're fishing and you're like, oh yeah, I know that guy because I see them every single weekend. So you really start to kind of like recognize people whenever they are fishing on chain, which is really cool. So
just you can see when other people are playing the game as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You can see people walking around.
How many instances could you see? Like, is there a maximum? Like yeah.
Yeah, we've so each area is an instance. So if you've ever played things like World of Warcraft and things like that, each area essentially has its own shard, like a server component. And we have stress tested each area with 1,250 players, which it runs like 120 FPS, no lag. I think some of this is purely to do with the fact that we build everything ourselves. So our whole server structure, everything, NFT indexing, our VRF, which is randomness on chain kind of stuff. Usually you would use Chainlink and all this other stuff. we've done it all ourselves now. We used to use other things, but over time we've just done it ourselves, and it's enabled us to basically create something that we know will scale as big as we want it to scale, which is a really nice experience. It's a nice feeling as a developer to not have to maybe have to worry about that stuff for the future. So we're in a really, really good position to expand.
I mean, that's wild actually. You could have a 1,000, like 1,200 users. That's nuts actually.
Yeah, there's some weekends whenever we end up with a couple of hundred cats just sort of chilling on the docks. So it's really it's amazing to see as a developer. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, and the fact that it continues to work, that's I mean, I was like, what? Sorry, man. I was like, why is my microphone unplugged? Like it's coming through my laptop now. Like I just replugged it in, but obviously, smooth brain. Is the audio back?
Yeah, you sound silky smooth now.
Sweet. Hundreds of people on the dock. That's gonna be a funny. That's gonna be a fun and cluttered experience. Like how do you even see that many? That must be like a mosh pit.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's very, very difficult to know what's going on. We're inclined to sort of not solve it for now because I kind of feel like that's part of the fun of MMORPGs. Whenever you kind of feel like there's almost too many people around to, so that's something we're kind of embracing for now. But we're really, really interested to see whenever players have their floofs following them around as well, because I don't know if you've ever played I suppose Pokemon Heart Gold and Silver, where you have like little Pikachu behind you, or even Pokemon Yellow, you have your Pikachu behind you. It's the same thing with floofs in Cat Town. So if you have like a super rare floof with maybe it's matured past, they basically their appearances change as they level up as well. So
do they evolve like Pokemon, or
they don't evolve, but there is another element to it where they get stats, so you can like train them to be like strength kind of. You maybe have like a tank on your team, and then maybe have like a magic user on your team, and then it's kind of a little bit more like Final Fantasy-esque. But we did sort of land a couple of things from the Pokemon thing, like the breeding stuff and the natures and the initial values and all of those kind of things that people really love to obsess over whenever they're trying to get that edge. Which I think will be really, really interesting whenever we start to have people dueling and, putting wagers down, and maybe, introducing some kind of an arena where people can come and like watch this and kind of, so we're really, really excited about what it is that we're building. And I think it's going to be great whenever we finally release it. And
do you have an estimated timeline, or is that too tight of a question there?
It's a little too tight of a question for now, but I would say in the next 6 months. I'm going to be like kind of open-ended on this because our vision has gotten a little larger through the building of this, which is a great thing, because I think it allows us to really create the proper vision of the proper product and release a good game. So I'm just allowing us a little bit of leeway. I'm hoping for the next 3 months, but let's go next 6 months just in case,
Okay, well, I mean, like it's the perfect time to build, to be honest. Right now, I think things in the crypto space are a little bit quiet. I mean, we do have certain hype, coins and different metas, but in terms of gaming, I would say, honestly speaking, it's not really like the gaming meta times, but that means it's a great time to be building it, because when it's the time for gaming to be in the spotlight, you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've seen some good things on Solana. I know Kintara. Some people have been chatting about that. I've seen actually on Base. I've seen the MFers, the NFT project. I think they're creating like a little like world sort of thing, like a 3D world.
That's fun.
So there's a couple of cool things going on, and I think that the games that will truly win will be the ones that actually build on blockchain rails and make something that is truly unique. Because I think the gaming sector is going through a little bit of a thing at the moment, especially with AI. And, I think money is hard to come by. Raising and funding and everything else is hard to come by in general. And I think that a lot of these larger game companies are going to start being outdone by the smaller ones purely because of AI. I do think that the gaming sector and kind of internet entertainment kind of industries are going to be rife for a bit of upset in the next while, in a good way. We're going to get some good products out of it. But I do think that the games that are going to survive and are going to really, really do well will be the ones that are building, number one, a social experience, and number two, something with some kind of an economy tied to it. Because I think that no matter what game you play, there is always some kind of currency in it, whether it be coins, whether it be gold. Sometimes it can be traded, sometimes it's used as real world currency. Sometimes there's always some kind of an economy. And an economy in itself is almost like a game mechanic. It's the same reason why people trade markets and maybe stop gaming. I don't know how many people I've at least spoken to a few where they're like, yeah, no, as soon as there's a bull market on, like I don't game because my game is the chart. It sounds really lame, but in a way, I think that is the case. And we're seeing it with prediction markets and whatnot, and all these other things. So, and of course, going back to like my gaming roots, I always played Diablo and World of Warcraft and all of these games that are heavily built around items and the value of those items, and then what you could trade for them for. And that in itself is part of the fun of those games, is to basically interact with other people and try and get a good deal so that you can get better over time and I guess win overall. So in itself, an economy is kind of a game mechanic. So that's where I kind of see crypto sort of landing. And then the social aspect of it is quite similar to, I guess, meme coin communities and those kind of things where people are really looking for a place to belong, which is why I think that MMORPGs are kind of ready for some kind of a resurgence using this kind of technology.
And is it possible for the players to communicate with each other? Like, if, for example, I was wandering in Cat Town with my cat and you and yours, could I interact with your cat / you?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
there's a little chat bubble at the bottom left. If you open that up and type, you can speak across the whole world if you're asking for help, or maybe you're trying to sell an item or something. But if you're trying to speak someone locally, you can just toggle it on and swap to local and just speak to me directly. And little chat bubble will appear above the head and stuff. It's we're really trying to create that kind of MMORPG social experience.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think having the social layer, the economy layer. We saw it in the 2021 cycle with the Axie Infinity, right? Like, people love to play games, and when there's an economy attached to it where they can actually earn as well, like what you're talking about with floofs and potentially wagering and battling and putting on, even third party bets. When you bring in this economic component as well, people are gonna grind to level up, get those fish, get the actual protein, get that muscle up, and send the floof in for the next round. I could definitely see that catching on.
Yeah.
But like right now, like 2026 has kind of been. I mean, it's the year of AI, like AI metas and AI. I mean, AI is more than a meta, but in terms of crypto, it definitely has had like a lot of the spotlight. How have you found building this past year, given that so much of the attention spotlight is on AI, and you're firmly building economies and gaming and the social construct over here?
It's interesting you say that, because for us, I think that not very much has changed. We've always sort of felt like we've kind of just sort of done our own thing. So we've never really been, I guess, becoming to the narrative, the current narrative of base. It is an important topic that you're sort of talking about with AI, and obviously base has taken that kind of approach where AI is at their focal point. Like that's one of the focuses that they are hell bent on, like promoting and ensuring thrives on base, which 100% is the right way to go. Like it's undeniable that we are going to be, or we are already in a future where AI enables us to do so many weird things that we never thought were possible. So it's really, really important from that standpoint. I suppose for us, in terms of the technology of AI, it's enabled us to do so much as, I mean, effectively a 3-person team. There would have never have been a time in the past where a 3-person team could create a full MMORPG on chain with an economy. It's kind of a big project, and we would never have been able to build that if we couldn't leverage AI. Now, whenever it comes to the art stuff, we try to keep that as hand drawn as possible, only really using AI for concepts to sort of help kind of bring that together. We're very, very protective over how the art looks and how things fit into the game. And the last thing we want is for something to kind of stand out and to feel a little alien, a little cheap. But yeah, I suppose that's where I kind of, I guess, feel about AI. But at the same time, actually, now that you mention it, we are doing some things internally to do with AI. This is a little, I haven't talked about this really at all across a lot of things, but we are building an internal labs project specifically around AI and the exploration of virtual agents in a virtual world to create dynamic experiences for players, which is something I think that not many people are really focusing on. So we're basically trying to delve into into the deeps and into the weeds of how we can keep experiences fresh for players, leveraging AI. Now, we don't want it to be completely AI leveraged, because then it just sort of turns into slop, and that's the last thing that we want. So what I mean by this is that each villager in our game can have a personality, and that they are restricted to that personality, and that they can define who they are to a certain extent and what they're going to say and what they know about certain players as well, because they have on-chain context about that player. So they know if you've showed up to the fishing competition. They know if you've been every single week and then you missed that 1 week. So maybe the next week they'll be like, I thought you were sick, you didn't make it to the fishing competition last weekend, well, what happened? So we're looking into those kind of things and really kind of trying to, I guess, keep up with the, how fast the world is moving whenever it comes to artificial intelligence, and making sure that I suppose Cat Town is included in that, not just from the way that we're leveraging the technology, but from the way that we're actually building AI within our product itself.
I think that's a really great initiative to include AI in the NPCs, so that it keeps the experience fresh. Different people have slightly different interactions, and it's not just the same 5 lines regurgitated in ABC order. I mean, the technology's here, and the fact that you're utilizing it and not shying away from it, whilst holding true to the core tenets that you find important to the game, I think that's definitely a great blend of AI technology and also home talents such as the art style.
Yeah, I think there are certain things that AI should be used for, and there are certain things that we still prefer the human touch for. And I think there will definitely be a lot of games and a lot of other companies, for that matter, going too far with AI and just making everything AI. And I think you're going to lose a little bit of the soul of the product if you do that. Happy to be proven wrong, but that's how I personally stand at the moment.
Now, we've been going on for almost 2 hours, but I was a whole hour before the show. But I guess I want to ask you, all right, so you're working on Floofs. Floofs is the next big upgrade for Cat Town, and that sounds exciting. Like, Tamagotchi meets Pokemon meets Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes, two thumbs up. Sign me up. In the next 6 months, this like what is your hope slash like best case scenario? Like what are you hoping for in the next 6 months with Cat Town?
I suppose we're harboring. We want to harbor a bigger community. So we want to bolster our community. We want, obviously, we're seeing a few people come back as well that we maybe haven't seen maybe in a year or so, which is, it's amazing to see older players still coming back after all of this time. They've been staking the whole time. Maybe they haven't had the time to play. And that's the whole point of Cat Town, so that you can kind of come and go and you can always come back and we'll always welcome you. So it's been really, really nice to see that. I think over the next 6 months, I'd like to see us obviously move ahead with the update and start to kind of like involve people for play tests. So we might have something open for that, get people on board. Maybe you can help shape the future of Cat Town and, put your stamp on it as well. So we're looking to kind of do a bit more of that. As well as that, we're looking to expand out into like merch kind of stuff and a bunch of other things that we've kind of held off on until we feel like we have, I guess, even something close to the world that we want. In the earlier days, I mean, honestly, I could show you some pictures and you'd be like, what the hell is this? And it was like Cat Town in the first week, So, we've been really kind of like holding off on a lot of these things. Like people are kind of like, oh, where do I get like Cat Town, like t-shirts? And like, I want a hat. And we're like, yeah, no, I know, me too. But we don't want to just sort of pull the trigger too early and not have anything in place for people who really, really love the brand. So I think basically just launching a great game, that's like 80% of what we want in the next 6 months. I think outside of that, we want to work on some other things, like sort of said with the merch and stuff. But we also have some infrastructure in-house as well for venturing into plushies, and not just plushies, but of course smart plushies, where you can scan a QR code and then you'll get an NFT for the like the hat that the plushie's wearing for your cat in the game, and of course that will be tradable, but only possible to get through the purchase of that plushie. So we really want to do that kind of stuff, and we have all of the things built out. We just haven't got the plushies yet. So there's a lot of like cool kind of like brand related things that we really want to do, and then on the technical side as well. So as I've said before, we've been building out our own infrastructure this last while along with this update. So for instance, we moved on from using Chainlink and Supra for our on-chain randomness. Basically, to give you a small explanation, whenever you pull a fish out of the water, that's the way that we ensure that that's true randomness and the NFT that you get is fair and is rolled correctly on chain so that you cannot manipulate it. We've built out our own version of that. It's cheaper. It's just as fast as Chainlink. It works with flash blocks on base. So we want to build that into something after we are happy with it ourselves to basically offer it to other smaller projects and games and whatnot for a fraction of the price that Chainlink will ever be able to offer, purely because we are such a small team and it's not our main offering.
Quick question.
As well as, go ahead.
It's sort of spawning, like obviously like the random fairness. Like if you've built this, could this have any application with like on-chain casinos?
Yeah, exactly. Basically, any time that you need a random number pulled, is it pulling a new card? Is it picking someone in a draw? Is it literally any time that you need randomness? That's where you would want it. So this could be used for all of those kind of applications.
And that's already fully built out, and now you're using it with the fishing as like a proof of concept for then to later. So that, okay, yeah, very interesting.
So we're using that all ourselves as well, and that was for on our side. That was to reduce cost and to increase reliability, because our previous supplier was not as reliable as we would like them to be. So we decided to improve upon that. And then the next infrastructure kind of product kind of thing on the side, outside of the game. So we have our own NFT indexing service. That sounds super technical, but basically it's just a way to cheaply know how many NFTs you have without touching the chain. Whenever you're asking the chain for data, you got to pay a little bit of money each time. That's what an RPC call is. And this way, basically, it makes it a fraction of the price to zero of the price because you're putting the data into your own database and you're serving it from there. I won't talk anymore on the technicals behind that, but basically, that allows us to compete with the likes of Alchemy and Morales as well for, again, a fraction of the price. And to put it in perspective, I think a lot of people don't understand how much this infrastructure costs whenever you're building a project. Our Alchemy bills would have been, and we're still a small game. We have big ambitions, but we're still a small game, and it would cost us, upwards of, $1,000 or $2,000 a month, just to have this data.
Wow.
And often the data is not good. Very, very often the data was not good. So we wanted off that ASAP. And these are some of the problems that people see whenever they're building and they start to actually get into the complexities of things. So we want to be able to offer all of these kind of things and allow revenue to come back to the company and also to the holders of our token as well through our revenue share system. There's a lot of different avenues. And of course, like you said with the previous one, we're using this already underneath the hood in our own product as a proof of concept. And whenever we're happy with how ironclad it is, then it becomes an offering that we can give to other projects.
Devs keep deving, builders keep building, and cats keep meowing. Did I actually hear a cat meowing in the background there?
You did, yeah. He wants out of the. Yeah. Otherwise, he's going to keep going. Can't escape it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're the living embodiment of Cat Town Builder, living in Cat Town yourself. That's perfect. But hey, as we wrap this up, what would your call to action be to the people that are tuning in today?
If you're interested at all in what I'm talking about, follow me on Twitter. It's Crunkles on Twitter, or follow Cat Town Base. And then also join our Discord and join Cat Town as well. The best place to get information and help about things is on our Discord. We reply instantly. We're always online, and there's lots of friendly people there to help you get started. So hopefully see some new faces on the lake this weekend. And
Fantastic. Well, listen, Chronicles, I want to say a big shout out to you for everything that you've built so far. I look forward to the Floofs chapter. I think that sounds very, very exciting. So we'll definitely have you on when you launch that. And thank you for your time, and thank you to everybody who tuned in today.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
All right.
See you later.
All right. So until next time, everyone. In fact, we'll see you again tomorrow. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy, but most importantly, stay based. Peace out, everyone.
I'm a baseline junkie. I'm a baseline junkie. Tell him again. I'm a baseline junkie. Tell him again. And I like it funky.